Stop planting your garden in straight lines. You're fighting against nature and losing yield with every row you dig. The linear grid was designed for mechanical farming equipment, not for productive hand-managed home gardens. By switching to this Amish circular system, you create a self-sustaining ecosystem that cycles nutrients from a central core outward to every plant in the system simultaneously. It is time to abandon rows for a radial geometry that guarantees a massive, high-density harvest from the same ground you have been underusing all along. Straight rows create artificial resource competition from the moment seeds go in. Plants at the ends of rows access more light and airflow than those positioned in the middle, producing uneven growth across the same bed. Water applied from above runs along furrows and off plot edges rather than penetrating toward root zones. Weeds colonize the exposed soil between rows because the canopy never closes tightly enough to shade them out. The hidden labor cost of maintaining a grid, constant weeding, directional irrigation, and repeated soil disturbance, is built into the system by design. The Amish circular tradition rejects this entirely, organizing every resource from water to nutrients around a central biological engine that feeds outward to every plant without waste. The system begins with a central fermentation pit dug 45 to 60 centimeters deep and approximately 60 centimeters in diameter at the exact center of the planting zone. Fill this pit with layered organic matter, kitchen scraps, green garden waste, aged manure, and a carbon layer of straw or wood chip. Then inoculate with a diluted molasses solution to trigger immediate microbial activity. As the organic core breaks down, it radiates heat outward through surrounding soil, warming the root zone 2 to 3 weeks earlier in spring than unamended ground. The decomposing core simultaneously acts as a passive moisture reservoir. Water drawn into the pit during rainfall is held within the organic matrix and released through capillary action into surrounding root zones, creating a wicking effect that sustains plant hydration between rainfall events without surface irrigation. Crops are arranged in concentric rings radiating outward from the central core, with placement determined by nutritional demand and physical structure. The innermost ring, sitting 30 to 45 centimeters from the core, receives the highest concentration of nutrients and heat. This is where the most demanding crops belong. Heirloom squash, corn, and cucumbers planted here access the nutrient-dense leachate migrating outward from the fermenting core throughout the entire season. Their sprawling vines spread across the soil surface between rains, functioning as living mulch that suppresses weed germination and reduces surface evaporation across the entire circle. The second ring, 60 to 90 centimeters from the center, suits medium-demand crops, tomatoes, peppers, and climbing beans on radial stakes fanning outward like spokes. The outer ring suits root vegetables, herbs, and leafy greens that require less fertility but benefit from consistent outward moisture migration. The circular geometry eliminates the shadow problem inherent in tall row crops. Because plants are arranged radially, taller central crops cast shadows that rotate with the sun rather than falling permanently on adjacent rows. Every plant receives direct light at some point during the day. The circular perimeter also creates a natural funnel during rainfall. Water hitting the outer mounded edge flows inward toward the central core rather than running off, concentrating moisture exactly where the biological engine needs it. The varied plant heights and dense mixed planting create multiple microclimates within a single circle, attracting parasitic wasps, ground beetles, and hoverflies that a monoculture row system never supports. A single 3-meter circle managed with a central fermentation core out produces a conventional row bed of equal area through intensive spacing, continuous nutrient migration, and living mulch coverage that eliminates resource waste. Multiple circles arranged in a honeycomb configuration, with shared pathways between them, scale this output across an entire garden. Once canopy closure is reached, typically 6 to 8 weeks after transplanting, weed suppression becomes near total, and maintenance drops to core replenishment every 4 to 6 weeks alongside harvest. Subscribe to Natural Crops and AMP. Soil Hub for more evidence-based, hands-on growing strategies. And share this with a fellow gardener still fighting straight rows when one circular system could transform their entire harvest.